is basically the truth on all aspects and levels of life. You know, I ain't got time to be trying to sugarcoat nothing. I ain't trying to.
I am Hayzel Green, an inquisitive, unapologetic, voluptuous introvert who blooms and blossoms behind closed doors. This is my podcast, a platform where I will discuss my writings and where I will bring to light conversations with my good girlfriends, sisters, brothers, and homeboys about love, life, music, and most importantly, sex. So leave your judgment at the door and welcome to Hanging Out with Hayzel.
It's Hayzel, baby.
Well, you know, Shaitan busy. Certain messages he don't want out. We gonna try to pick this one back up. Islam is real deep in a lot of the institutions. It holds a lot of security for a lot of those brothers that are in there. If you go in as a Muslim, of course, they're going to receive you for that. And they may listen to your message for that reason alone. Or are you going to just stand on your feet as an advocate? Or do you do both?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, you take you wherever you go, no matter what.
Okay.
So me being me, I got over 22 years of penitentiary time in all over the United States of America, state and the feds. So when I go in, I'm really going in. Hopefully, I'm trying to run in a couple of my homeboys. You know, that's still in there, that's stuck in there. But I go, you know, I've been Muslim all my life, so everybody always know me as a Muslim. They might know me as a Muslim that's doing a lot of fucked up things and living a fucked up life, you know, not in accordance all the way to what Islam is basically built upon. But at the same time, I'm a human being, you know.
Absolutely.
I had to blaze my own trail, you know, and so I go in as me, you know, and I'm speaking. Like I said, I speak to people, but I really be speaking to myself, trying to remind myself. Because my ears is closer to my mouth than it is anybody else. So I really be speaking to myself.
Oh, I've never heard anybody say that before. I've never heard that before. Wow, that's deep.
Right.
That's deep. I've never heard that before. Say it again.
Yeah.
Say it again so it can resonate.
Well, actually, like I said, when I'm speaking, period, I'm really speaking to myself to remind myself because my ears is closer to my mouth than it is anybody. So I'm really speaking to myself, you know, hoping that somebody pick up what I put down. And what I put down is basically the truth on all aspects and levels of life. You know, I ain't got time to be trying to sugarcoat nothing. I ain't trying to make it more than what it is, and I ain't trying to take away from what it was. You know, the things that I did in the past don't define the person that I am today. And once again, the person that I am today is a person who is against drugs and alcohol. And the reason why I'm against drugs and alcohol is because I don't know how to do drugs and alcohol like the average person. I'm at the point where, you know, if I could do drugs and alcohol and still be able to control my life, then I probably would continue to do drugs and alcohol. I love to drink. I love to get out. It's all about. It's all a part of the lifestyle, you know. See, but I'm one of them dudes where I don't know. I don't have no gray area. It's all the way in, or I ain't in at all. And when I was living that life, I was all the way to the fullest. You know, I'm talking about. I done sat with brick boys, and I done sat with with bums under the Brooklyn Bridge. And I was talking about literally under the Brooklyn Bridge, where the motherfuckers living in cardboard boxes and been on Skid Row out in California. You know what I'm saying? So when I go into the penitentiary, I'm going into the penitentiary really, once again, trying to, you know, share what I can share. So hopefully that, you know, people will see. Cause a lot of people that when I go in there, a lot of them dudes, they know me. You know, when I come in, they like, man, they go Chance taking, Nigga, what's up with you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm in here on my own this time. I ain't coming through the door getting put straight in the hole for being disrespectful to the COs, because the judge labeled me as one who had a chronic inability to adjust to today's society. I had no respect for authority, none whatsoever, all the way back from when I was in goddamn junior high, high school, elementary. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't about respect, listening to what a motherfucker say, because I felt like wasn't nobody tough as me or bad as me, you know what I'm saying, or can tell me what the fuck to do, because I'm gonna do what I want to do regardless of the situation.
So you can talk the walk. You've been there. You walked them shoes. It's not like anything that you're talking about. It's textbook because you've been there. You've lived it.
Oh, y'all done lived there. I'm talking about actually lived it. I done been at the, like I say, I done been at the bottom, and I done been at the top. And they say it's lonely at the top, but shit, I'm the type of motherfucker. I like it to be alone. Because I was really in it for myself. I wasn't in it for nobody else. I'm from the era back in the days where when you meet a bitch, you had to talk her up off some pussy. You just couldn't, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, all you gotta do is have a bag, you can get the pussy. Back when I was going to school, you had to literally be a verbal gymnast. You had to say some shit, to get a female to come up out her panties. Nowadays, these niggas, they don't know nothing about that,
The struggle.
All they know is, they don't know the struggle, at all. You know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing about, fighting a motherfucker and then turning right back around the next day and going to school and seeing that same motherfucker in the lunchroom, and fighting them again. Fight the same motherfucker for damn near a week. And then the next week, y'all on the block slinging rocks with each other, drinking. You know what I'm saying? Laughing at the shit that went on. You know what I'm saying? Fucking the same chick, type of shit like that. These dudes, the generation now, they don't know how to take an ass whoop.
The new breed.
The new breed. They new breed. I call them the old breed. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It is what it is. Motherfuckers say what they want to say. Half these motherfuckers, they don't know if they want to be a female or a male, And then, what I'm saying, the ones that want to be a female, they scared to come out the closet. So they, what I'm saying, they need to just come on all the way out. Like I used to tell the niggas in the joint, nigga, you come on, man, I got my dick sucked. Nigga, you a fag, nigga. You let that nigga put his mouth on your motherfucking dick, nigga, you a fag. Because if you pitch, you gonna catch. Nigga, what the fuck is you talking about?
Wait, say that again. If you do what, you gonna catch? Say that again.
If you pitch, you gonna catch. You know how you going on the baseball field? Some days you might pitch, and then the next day the coach gonna tell you to get over there and catch. Same way with that gay shit. Niggas be doing in the joint. You know what I'm saying? They start off getting their dick sucked, and then them boys turn them out, stick their finger in their ass and shit like that. Next thing you know, this nigga he down there sucking the punk's dick. Yeah, shit, nigga, you let another man touch you in any fashion or form, you's a faggot. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the area where nigga, we ain't even fuck. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even trying to fuck in the same bedroom with you, nigga. So I'm trying to fuck all over the room. I ain't got time to be, you know what I'm saying? You getting up, your dick hanging and slanging, and mine hanging and slanging at the same time. You know what I'm saying? We go in the next room and we could switch up. You know what I'm saying? But all that tag teaming, that's gay shit to me. Always have been gay shit to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. Growing up. Like I said, I come from a different era, cut from a different cloth. They don't even make the cloth like that no more. Last of a dying breed for real.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
Back when I was growing up, you had the DDs and the BCOs, MOs and JDs.
Okay, so look, for a lot of people who may be listening to this, they don't know what the DDs are. They don't know BCOs. So can you kind of explain what they are and what what it means?
All right. Well, actually, at one point in time in the city of Cleveland, Ohio, you had two biggest gangs, BCOs, which was Brick City Outlaws, and they was down the way in the projects. Then with the project, niggas that smoked that wet, the PCP and LSD, and then it was a bunch of them motherfuckers. That really, they damn near ran the town. Then you had the DD, which was, a little bit up the way, like Superior, and, St. Clair, and 105 and shit like that. 10-5, all that, more is black. You know what I'm saying? So them two, them was the biggest rivalries. I'm talking about back then. You couldn't even go in certain neighborhoods, certain sides of town. See, and I'm stamped of approval, 10 toes down, front line all the time. It wasn't a side of town in the city of Cleveland I couldn't go. I wasn't a DD, I wasn't a BCO, I wasn't a JD, I wasn't an MO, I wasn't none of that shit. I was a Muslim that loved this motherfucking lifestyle. Once again, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, I hung out the projects with the Brick City Outlaw motherfuckers, smoking wet, and, flipping and tripping, and and hanging out with the DDs, and all the way up the way on Kinsman and Miles. I've been all over the whole city of Cleveland, Ohio.
This is what's tripping me out. Now, I hear you when you say you was down the way smoking wet. And I can't even say that my life was sheltered, but I ain't going to say I'm just getting hip, but in the last 10, 15, maybe 20 years, have I just got hip to people smoking wet. When I tell you, maybe a little longer than 20 years, but I had no clue that such thing existed, like, at all. Damn.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna tell you this. Back in 1984, my first wet stick, you know what I'm saying, was on Cliffview. In 84. Yeah, 1984. My first wet stick was on Cliffview in these apartments at the bottom of the hill. And me and my homeboy, we started. We were smoking some wet. And next thing I know, the shit make you so trippy to the point where it's dangerous. I grab a pair of scissors, he grab a knife, and I stabbed him in his leg and he stabbed me in my arm, thinking that we was And I mean, it make you feel like Superman. I didn't call cases. I didn't call cases against the police. I didn't call cases, all kind. I mean, hey, I didn't call down there every case except for my fucking rape case, because I ain't never had to take no pussy, I had bitches building sand castles with me in the sandbox, when I was a little kid. I started my corruption. I told you started, I had two different females challenging each other who gonna make a better sand castle. And I kicked both of them motherfucking castles over and walked out the sandbox with a whole nother goddamn bitch. Female. You know what I'm saying? So I was fucked up. I was fucked up because, the beginning of time.
So your corruption started early.
Exactly.
Because in 84, 84, I was in junior high school.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 84. Yeah, I was shit. I remember, and I'm going to tell you this, and I was in 82, them in the 6th grade, we was hitting the goddamn beer trucks. And that's back before they started putting locks on the trucks. We used to sit up the beer truck would pull up and he'd get out and go on one side and unload the goddamn truck and take some beer on the inside. By the time we come out, we snatched us 2-3 cases in 6th grade, sitting up drinking on the stairs. So I'm telling you, this drugs and alcohol took precedence in my life at an early age, and it really just wasn't the drugs and alcohol; it was the lifestyle. Because I got a kick out of that shit, living dangerously, living on the edge. Shit, I mean, at one point in time in my life, I ain't gonna say I was an actual pimp, but I was a PIMP, a person intellectually making paper.
Oh wow! Okay.
I'm gonna say it again. A person intellectually making paper, because if a chick was selling pussy, I'm a masterminded motherfucker. I'm gonna manipulate her and show her how she should put that money in my motherfucking pocket, and give her a little order about her disorder and help her continue to do what she's doing in a better fashion.
Order and disorder.
Give her a little order about her disorder. Teach her how to do what she do better. I mean, because Pimp C said it best. Pimping ain't dead and the hoes ain't scared. It just moved to the web. And at that time, back then, we used to have, what was it, the Apple. I remember my first computer was the Apple IIc. That's when they had the Apples and the Commodore. You know, and that's the killing part about it. I didn't have to live this lifestyle. That's what's so fucked up about the whole situation. Because back in junior high school, most parents couldn't even afford a goddamn pair of real tennis shoes for their kids. And my mom and father had me with a goddamn computer in my bedroom when they first come out. I chose to live this lifestyle. I didn't have to live this lifestyle. You know, that's what I'm saying. I was addicted to the lifestyle more than anything because of the rush, the adrenaline. That shit used to make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Then I didn't. By me being Muslim, that was even more dangerous than anything because most kids growing up, they fear a lot of things. I didn't even fear death because in Islam it teaches us not to fear nothing but Allah. So I had no fear. So I would go above and beyond doing shit, try to prove to nobodies that I was somebody. All my life, I was trying to prove to a bunch of nobodies that I was somebody. When the whole time, I didn't have to do none of that shit. But I liked the rush, going from, city to city and state to state, overseas. And I done offered Hajj. I lived in India. I got locked up in India for chewing pine. And I'm going to tell you what pine is. It's like a coca leaf with some cream on it. You put it in your head. Have you ever seen the Indians? They always wobble their head. And they be like, that's sad. They talk that language and shit. That's because they be hot in the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what it is. They be wobbling their head and they be like, "Oh, how you doing?" The motherfuckers, they chewing that pine leaf called Panye, and that shit get you hot in the motherfucker. When I found that shit get me high, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, I was about, man, I had to be 15, 16 years old in India, you know?
So that was a new high for you?
It was a new high for me. Something different. Then I'm over there now. I'm over there chilling. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I can say about me, I've been a hustling motherfucker all my life, and a pussy getting ass motherfucker at the same time. I might have been over in India, but I had 2-3 chicks stealing from their parents, bringing me the pond. You know, while I'm selling pond to the kids in the neighborhood. That's how I ended up getting caught. One of the guys got mad because I guess somebody he was supposed to be wedding or get married to when he get older. You know, because over there they got the control marriage, you know. And I'm an American with street knowledge, don't have to fear nothing. I got his girl stealing from her dad, and he gets mad and he tells dad, and then they set me up, and then I end up getting locked up over there, and then my parents end up having to send for me, and so I got kicked out of India. And from India, my parents sent me to England, thinking that, okay, well, maybe it'll work out over here. Let's get over in England, you know, and shit. Started getting high over there, drinking over there, stealing over there, you know. I mean, it's been an ongoing thing all my life. What I can say is, I guarantee I done did most shit than, how they say, the man in the moon. I done did most shit than you can imagine. I done been places. There's a lot of people ain't been. You know, I'm so fucked up. You know what, Hayzel? This is how fucked up I am, right? And by the way, y'all,
okay.
Hayzel's a very, very close individual, you know, to me. So she knows me well. You know, there's some things that she's getting exposed to today.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was so fucked up. When I was in England, you know, as an American, I had seen Big Ben. I had rode the double-Dutch bus. I had went over the London Bridge. So I steals me a goddamn moped. I steals a moped and goes all the way to goddamn Scotland Yard. Get over in Scotland Yard, and they, you know what I'm saying, run into a motherfucker over there that's smoking good weed, older guy. I started getting high over there, you know, making money over there. I started taking the weed from Scotland back to the school that I was going to. So I'm selling weed to the Muslim kids in school. And when I couldn't get no weed, I done took and rolled up peppermint tea and lied to these motherfuckers and told them it's some shit called indica. I done made up a name. These motherfuckers, this is how retarded motherfuckers is. They really thought they was getting high. I might smoke some real, let them hit some real weed, and then turn around and sell them the peppermint tea. And They smoke the peppermint tea. They still have some weed that I done smoke with them. They thinking that they getting high. Tell you, I'm a master manipulator.
I'm about to say, you wasn't scared. You all the way in a foreign land and you trying to finesse people.
You see it trying. I was finessing motherfuckers like a mother. I want it all my life is in me. Like right now, I'm in recovery, and I didn't came up with a goddamn Facebook page, and I'm gonna start selling T-shirts. God damn it, if I can't get out of this, you gotta pay me. God damn it.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? This shit gotta pay me. I can't be sober for nothing. Damn me.
You gotta be sober for yourself.
And you know what? Myself want to get paid. Goddamn, I told you I'm addicted to the lifestyle. It's the lifestyle.
Okay,
look. All my life.
Take me back, son. We kind of touched up on a few things. Mm-hmm. The first time you started getting high, the stealing, pimping with a person that has an addictive personality as you have. There has been some times when you weren't getting high, not forcibly, like being incarcerated. There were times that I know I saw you and had no clue. During those times when you were sober, what made you start getting high again? Because see, for some reason, I just always assumed that you sold dope. I didn't find out until later on in life that you were a pimp. When you had those moments in life when you were clean, what made you decide to start getting high again?
You want to know the truth?
Absolutely.
Let the truth be told.
Okay, yeah, let's sit it right here on this table.
There's never been a moment in my life, and I'm going to be honest, that I wasn't getting high. I just knew how to cover that shit up. I was bit, like I told you, I've been the man. I was at the top of the chain because I'm so manipulative and I'm so good at what I do. Motherfuckers never knew. When I was back when Eddie Ball was, I was the first motherfucker in Cleveland with the Eddie Bauer truck. I used to have a candy apple red Mustang. I used to have pounds of weed, bricks of motherfucking coke. I mean, and at this time, it's a social thing. I was getting high then.
Oh, yeah.
But motherfuckers just didn't know.
Yeah, because I had no clue.
That's what I say. Motherfuckers just didn't know. You got to realize, back when I was growing up in the early 80s, getting high wasn't something that was looked down upon. Everybody used to smoke Primos when I was in high school and junior high. You know what I'm saying? It was like now everybody sip on certain pop pills. Back when I was going to school, everybody motherfucking snort coke, motherfucking roll Primo. That's just how it was. When the crack gang.
I'm glad I never got into that. I'm gonna tell you. I used to drink and I used to smoke hella weed. There was one incident which kind of flicked that switch for me, and it was like, nah, bitch, you doing too much. I was kicking it, smoking weed, drinking dark liquor. That's supposed to be, the no. But I found myself kicking it on Lake Erie at night, pitch black, on some boat. It was cold as hell, spider webs and all that shit. And then when we got ready to leave this boat, and I had to figure out how I was going to walk from that boat back up onto land without falling and concentrating, and I couldn't see shit. Once I got to that top, and I prayed, oh God, oh Allah, get me up there. Once I got there, I said, you know what? That taste left my mouth. I'm gonna tell you, I don't never have to smoke no weed or drink ever again, because that was an experience. I was like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And after I had that talk, I'm good. I'm Gucci.
See, I mean, it was different for me because I grew up. First of all, once again, it keeps centering back on me being amongst. It goes all the way back to when I was a kid. My father kept me somewhat in a cage. It's like if you take a lion and you put a lion in the middle of the jungle, but you got a cage around this lion. He sees everything for 14 years. He sees everything, and then one day you lift that cage above that lion that then saw every animal and everything go down. When he get let loose, he gonna be the wildest lion in the jungle. Why? Because he sees it.
Yeah,
and that was me. I sat back for 14 years and watched everything going on around me in the hood, in life. You know what I'm saying? And then when my father divorced my mother, it was like that cage was lifted up off me. And when that cage was lifted up off me, I was a masterminded lion. I had the heart of a lion. the you know what I'm saying, in the hunger of a life. So I wanted to do everything. So I got involved in everything, pimping, robbing. You know, at one point in time, they used to call me the broad daylight boy. Me and a couple of my other cats. I got a friend that's still locked up since 1988. He's still locked up in the penitentiary. You know, from some shit we got involved in. You know, they used to call me they used to call it the broad daylight. Well, we used to rob motherfuckers in broad daylight, take them to the ATM machine. I'll knock the chick off, go to her crib, and I'll leave the front door for my homeboys to come in. And while I'm in the back, blowing her back out, my homeboys in the front, they cleaning the house out.
Wow,
know?
That's deep.
And so, it's true. And I masterminded all this shit.
So she got fucked, literally.
Literally. You know what I'm saying? Literally.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'll be sorry as fuck.
You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker, you know, you cut through with this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You let this motherfucker in your house. You open your legs, share the most precious thing that you got as a woman with this motherfucker, and all it was the whole time it was set up. You know what I'm saying? Pussy wasn't shit. I'm trying to figure out what's in your house. You know what I'm saying? I want your guns. I want your pop, your mama, your daddy, jewelry. You know what I'm saying? The drugs. You know, all that shit. Yeah. So you get fucked all the way around the map. You know.
So was this a sober mind? Or no?
I mean, I've always had a sober mind because I always had, even though I've always, you know what I'm saying, participated in, you know, drugs and alcohol, I've always had a sober mind because I've always been able to pick up and put down whenever I want. I've never been able to not pick up and put down, but as life goes on, and the older you get, it gets worse each and every time that you pick up, and the put down becomes harder and harder. Getting, you know what I'm saying, than it was before. Because for years, people like even you yourself, for years, everybody, you couldn't tell a motherfucker, well, that motherfucker get high. Motherfucker will blow your brains out if you told them, you know what I'm saying, chance taker got high. And they couldn't find them to thought. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because of situations and places I was putting myself in, you know, hanging out with Master P, hanging out with Ghostface. And I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. You know what I'm saying? I done smoked wet primos with P. I done smoked wet primos with goddamn Ghostface. I done smoked wet primos with Too Short. I done smoked wet primos with, a lot of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, back in them days, yeah. You know, and I mean, it is what it is. And I mean, nowadays, everybody knew Short was a Supreme King, you know? And then he changed his life.
Wait. Did you say something about the Supreme Team?
No, I say that everybody knew Short was a Supreme Team. But yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I was locked up with old boy out of the Supreme Team. What's his name, man? He's supposed to have been one of the leaders, man, out of New York City, man. Supposed to have been 50's real father or some shit. He was down in USP Leavenworth. You know what I'm saying? I got a mental block right now, but you know, I done did time in the Fed on the USP Leavenworth. I was in USP Victorville. I was in USP Beaumont. They call it Bloody Beaumont. My paperwork clean. I can walk any yard in any compound in the United States of America. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know, I don't give a fuck. You know, I can walk any compound, you know, always have and always, you know, I ain't gonna say will because, you know, that's not my lifestyle no more. But, you know, I got my federal number tatted on me. A lot of people don't know that everybody if you get in trouble one time, you got a federal number. And that federal number.
Even if you did no Fed time?
Even if you did no Fed time. This how the government runs it. If you get arrested as a teenager for stealing a piece of gum, and you get and you go and they put you in the system, from that day forth you have a federal number, and that federal number follows you each and every time you get into some trouble. Then if you catch a Fed case, then you get a penitentiary federal number. And what they do is they run that they run that federal number with your penitentiary federal number, and they can tell everything that you ever did. That's how it seems when you go to the feds. There's a thing called the point system. It's not about the crime you commit. It's about the point system. You're on a point system. How many times you've been arrested in your life? You know, what you've been arrested for in your life, you get points. The feds, they give you points. A lot of people, that's why they be like, damn.
Wow.
That's why motherfuckers be like, damn, he only got caught with an ounce. How you get life? How you get life in the feds? Oh, you got life in the feds because, you know what I'm saying, all the time he got caught with a gun as a teenager. He shot a motherfucker over here, you know what I'm saying? Or he might have got caught with, you know what I'm saying? It's a point system. You get a point for every time you get arrested. They give you points. That's a point against you. You get points against you for the different cases. If you got violent cases, state cases, these ain't even federal cases. This ain't got shit to do with the goddamn feds. And they gonna give you a motherfucking point because you done did 2 penitentiary numbers. Every time you get points for every time you done been in the prison. Then this is how dirty they is. They give you points. So say if you get out of prison a year ago, and you catch a federal case, you get a point because you know what I'm saying, you didn't stay out of prison longer than 5 years. That's another point against you. So
that's why they put you on that 3 and 5 year probation.
Yeah.
Set your ass up.
Why?
Because they know people can't not do shit for 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years.
Nothing.
It's a setup. All that shit is a setup.
That's some bullshit.
So,
wow.
A lot of people don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's why we got so many people right now locked up in the feds. I know people in the feds that been caught one federal case and they doing 20 years or 30 years.
So what's up with this 3 strike rule? Is that similar to that or something totally different?
It's totally different because the 3 strike thing is something they're doing in California. You know, they do it somewhat here in Ohio too. They call it an habitual criminal. You know what I'm saying? When they lock your ass up and leave and throw away the key. You know, same way with the feds. They take your federal number. You know, this how they, like, when you go to the feds, the first thing motherfuckers do is they tell you to get 3 things: your judgment commitment, your sentencing agreement, and your PSI. You know what I'm saying? And what that is, it tells everything about your case. And then they run your federal number. The inmates do this. Inmates, not your federal penitentiary number, your federal number. And that way, when they run that, they can tell you might not snitched on this case, but nigga, what about that case 8 years ago when you told on Cootie Lou and his crew in the state? Nigga, you still a rat.
Hell no. That's fucked up.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So that's how
they about to throw you in with the wolves, period.
Either way it goes. Government don't care nothing about you. They got a thing called the snitch down program. I got caught up in some shit where I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm selling pills all over the state of Ohio. I'm getting big money. I stay getting money. I ain't never not getting that no money. I'm talking about I played with, you know what I'm saying, 50, 100,000, you know what I'm saying, on a regular basis, you know, and
right.
did what it did. That's why motherfuckers could never phantom the thought of me getting high because I stayed flat, you know, with the freshest kicks, the freshest. I kept minks, furs, leathers, new whips,
true,
all that shit. Goddamn it, if it was 2006, goddamn it, you better believe. You know what I'm saying? Chance Taker got him a 2006 whip. You know, goddamn it, motherfucker. That's why motherfuckers couldn't believe when, you know what I'm saying, that they couldn't believe it. But yeah, all that shit counts, man. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is.
Well, we have come to the end of this week's episode. I want to first thank you for listening to the insanity that crosses our minds. To those who partake and entertain in my conversations, without you, there will be no hanging out with Hayzel. To Platinum Way Ray and Mac of the Tracks, we're looking out for my dope beat. And last but not least, shout out to my other half for making this possible. Because at the end of the day, she is I and I am her. If you thought this show was interesting, Be sure to tune in to next week's episode and tell a friend. Support the movement. All things Hayzel Green. Find my books on Amazon.com. Follow, listen, and like at hazelgreen.com. Hayzel Green on Facebook and Hayzel Green 216 on IG. 2 fingers, and I'm out. Hey, 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 hey.